composition starts to come online, if they can get control of the map, build those ultimates, it becomes very difficult for Russia to approach the point, even with the FAR that they are in fact running right now. So, when the FAR, those take control though, however, it does kind of flip on its head. Finland tries to approach a Fraggy on the Reinhardt, FAR has control, can shoot rockets over the shield.
Well, here we go, kicking things off on University, seems like. We're gonna have Finland wrapping down below, try to get in around the point. Nice hook coming down, pulling Shadowburn immediately into the thick of the squad, and they will eliminate him. Now they can charge up onto the point. They have the inside track, and Russia has to be respectful. We'll go ahead and just kite away as the point unlocks.
Yeah, they're going to have this first control, and that's so important. They can use this choke point here to prevent the approach of Russia, and that makes the FAR pick so much less impactful here. You get Shadowburn just trying to get in. He does use his jump here to get onto the high skies to rain damage down onto Finland, but it's just not enough. There's so much sustainability, there's so much healing here. He can't get any picks. Meanwhile, Taimu looking for flanks in the back line.
Wrapping around, trying to find a lineup for that hook. Zappis gonna get taken out of the mech. Mistakes. We'll go ahead and pop him out. A couple more shots would get rid of this pilot form Diva. Flashbang comes in, but the boop off the side comes down. Still manages to get the kill, but Big Goose shows up, shutting down that McCree, and Main falls at the same time. So Finland, despite losing one of their tanks, will be able to maintain control because they got 3 other ones, or at least 2.5, depending on which way you want to cut Taimu.
Yeah, and you can see how Mistakes was trying to turn this around by getting control of that high ground, knowing that Shadowburn wasn't able to do enough damage alone to get any single pick, any single kill. And he was able to get the DMAC there, but it's so predictable once you're there alone and the tank line is lost, you can't stay there for long.
Fire Strike coming out, Zarya Bubble gonna help mitigate that one. Down tries to build up for that Graviton Surge. He's getting there very rapidly. Linkser trailing behind just a little bit, but Fraggy with his own Fire Strike. Gets that hit on a tonic, taking down the enemy Rhine. Not gonna be able to get into a position to try to get that res off Fraggy. Coming up with another one, takes him down, and Finland maintain control here, 65% moving upward as they just go ahead, get the cleanup kills, looking for the staggers.
And Achilles, they have the big 6. They have all 6 ultimates available. Fraggy knew that as soon as there was the kill on Tonic, he got the kill, he could get a shatter no matter what. But Russia knew because of that they couldn't take the fight, so Fraggy carefully positioned himself to be prepared to shatter if Russia tried to collapse without Tonic, but they did not. So he gets to hold it. They have 6 ultimates now on the defense, and if they can trade up on that, looks like a win here on this map of University.
Yep, starting to push their way in. That's going to be the Earth Shatter out from Team Russia to start things off. Graviton Surge coming down. Mirage up above the defense pictures is there, and they're looking for the bomb. Drops it into the back. Shadowburn finds Streak. It's taken down by the self-destruct, but it's going to be Russia very handily winning the fight. The res is available. They put the FAR back into the mix, and they will find the flip, but it's at 99% Russia. They dump a plethora of ultimates to try to get that through. Finland, can they retake with just a shatter?
It was really well played by Shadowburn in that moment. They used a lot of ultimates, but he was able to come up big with the kills. That means that even though Finland traded back, they couldn't actually regain control of the point because they lost so many members in that moment. So Fraggy held his shatter. He was able to avoid the enemy shatter, so that's the only big tool they've got. He's going to have to utilize it well here.
All right, now swinging away. They're just looking to take down Tonic, but mistakes from the side. He gets both supports. The Deadeye comes down. Shaz and Big Goose going into the grave, and that's just going to be Finland held off. They have a little bit of time. They can do these eco pushes to try to build up, but when you're trying to get a Graviton Surge in with not that much time, when you're the attacker, it's going to be that much more difficult to get the damage in as a Zarya, and you can see that reflected where Zhao, he's got 95% here on his Graviton Surge, whereas Linkser is only sitting at 32.
The defender's always going to have that advantage in terms of damage. Big Goose is doing his best to boost everyone in, but that's where Mystics comes into play because he's got the high ground advantage, and when you run into the point with that speed boost, he's going to be doing all that extra damage.
Just go ahead, maybe pin that into the wall, but he does allow Finland to push forward. Going to be tossing it down straight into the faces in time. Who's the first one to die now? Linkser falling as well. And as Russia maintains control, 62%, they keep inching forward. Finland trying to build up, but Linkser only gets 10% on that push.
Yeah, not a whole lot, you know. A lot of this is coming from the damage of Shadowburn and Mistakes. The damage comes in from 2 different directions, 2 different angles, and Finland has no range damage to speak of, so they have to win the tank war with their ultimates, and building that ultimate for Linkser is so critical. He just hasn't been able to do it, unfortunately. Positional advantage so important on University. As you can see here, look at how much free damage Shadowbird can do. Uncontested, no range damage to knock him out of the sky. He's only limited by his fuel.
Not gonna have it. Yeah, that's gonna be the Deadeye coming out. Mistakes finds Big Goose again, and now Taimu Be the first one to fall. Fraggy down in the pit will get eliminated. It's 95% here. Seems like Russia should be able to close this one out. Fraggy's been holding this Earth Shatter for so damn long, but might not get the opportunity to use it at all. Shadowburn just gonna pop that barrage after taking down Shaz. Gets rid of the Zarya. Zappis out of the mech. And this should pretty much be the cleanup here as they look to take the first round on Oasis University, going the way of Russia. A couple little delays coming through. Any sort of flip here for Finland would be absolutely huge. Shatter comes down, manages to find mistakes, but Fraggy's cut around the backhand side and will get eliminated here by Tonic. We keep rolling down. Linkser swaps over onto that Hammond, but instantly gets shredded down. And the OT bar will just plummet faster and faster.
It's tea time. It's tea time. Well, you know, Achilles, the difference in these compositions, I think a lot of people look at this and it feels like we're in a Reinhardt Zarya dominated meta overall, and that's true, but the differences between these two comps is sustainability and more tankiness, something that's strong turtle style that Finland's been running all of this qualifier is what they tried to approach the point with consistently there, but when they didn't have control, there was too much damage coming out in the crossfire between the McCree and the Pharah on both sides, and you're running a comp that doesn't have that much damage. If you could trade up on ultimates after they get the flip, then when you come in, you can crush their tanks with your ultimates, then the Pharah and McCree are just going to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
But like you pointed out very astutely several times, Linkser just could not build that charge. They couldn't trade up on ultimates, so mistakes. Shadowburn had free reign.
Here we are on the push as we shift over to city center. Russia going to be looking to close things out 2-0 here on Oasis. To kick off with that map win. Tonic playing up forward, takes a bit of damage as Main going to be trying to heal him up with the Orb of Harmony very slowly. Aggressive push forward here from Fraggy. And Main's going to get taken down. Linkser with the Soldier 76 manages to find that first kill. Shadowburn gets Big Goose, but gets taken down by Shaz. And now Taimu traded out. Going to be a 2-for-2 across the board. The Diva is going to be dead here. Finland finishes him off, and they look for that first cap. Push back around the side. Linkser going low, but has the biofield. Gets a shot in, taking down the Mercy. Tonic jumps through, but they're just going to get picked off. So Finland, again, gaining control over the point to start things off. But can they hold it?
Notice that how much damage Linkser's been able to do in these fights. He's positioned well, he has self-sustain, he has, with essentially triple support here, right, with Taimu on this Brigitte, so many ways to stay alive. It's so difficult to kill him. Now he's on the high ground. Russia's going to be making a composition swap to try to get on top of him, but what Soldier 76 does so well is survive. Even with dive coming through from Tonic, Shadowburn, and mistakes, he should be able to live through so much that sometimes the counterattack from Finland can be devastating.
But if you can get that pulse bomb, if you dedicate it
to
Linkser, you take him out of the fight suddenly, that attack visor is now irrelevant. Primal Rage going to be popped by Fraggy, but he's immediately kiting away. Have to show respect to the Discord Orbs coming back. Will rejoin in the front, but Zappis is going to get knocked out of his mech. So a rough start. That's Fraggy getting shredded down. We'll get pocketed back up as they try to heal him up. It's going to be the Transcendence popped by Shaz to keep him in the fight. Attack visor out from Linkser, looking for a target. Something's going to come up, and now he's got to kite back. So not getting a lot of value out of the ultimate. Shadowburn comes up with the kill, getting rid of that Soldier 76 pulse bomb in. Mistakes find Shaz. This is going to be Russia looking to get a flip much faster this time around. Took them 99% to get it on University, but now they're going to find it just around 60, it would seem, as they go ahead and try to finish off the remaining members of Finland. Zappis here in the mech, going to get popped out again. Has that self-destruct, but wants to hold it. Knows that he is going to need that for the retake.
I mean, Shadowburn mistakes were able to do enough damage there to the backline, force Linkser back, prevent him from getting value out of the attack visor, and then clean up house right afterwards. The pulse bomb on the Shaz was super critical because that meant that the fight was essentially won. They could clean up. Shadowburn can now hold the Dragon Blade here on the defense, which is so critical. Taimu's gonna, of course, toss out this rally to make sure that Dragon Blade is a little bit tougher to execute. He's going to be the target for Shadowburn here, though. If he lives and stuns Shadowburn, it's not going to be as effective.
Oh, Blade's coming down. He drops down right in front of Taimu, and he gets sliced to pieces, but Zappis moves forward, shuts down the rest of that ultimate. So not going to be finding any additional kills, but now the rest is going to be there. Shaz taking down Tonic. Russia loses one of their tanks. Mistakes pushing forward. Has to kite back. Away from the explosion, as Zappis makes his way back into the mech. He chases in, looking for the pulse bomb. Stick finds it there. On to Fraggy. He survives for a little bit longer, but the pulse pistols, even at that range, are more than enough to go ahead and finish off the Winston. Zappis is going to retreat, taking himself back out to safety as Shadowburn plays forward, just looking to get some additional percentage for that next blade. But Russia holding here, now at 50%.
Yeah, and they're just doing a great job of dealing with what Finland is trying to approach with, and as long as you are very aware in Shadowburn's case here, of where Taimu is, how to burst him down, and how to avoid getting stunned. You can do so much with these Dragon Blades. You can also build these Dragon Blades so quickly.
Fraggy going low, has to pop the Primal Range, the pressure coming out. Russia looking to suffocate the squad here as they take the lead. Finland desperately wanting this cap. Fraggy falling low, Transcendence is available from Shaz, but would probably love to hold that for Shadowburn's next blade, which he is going to have very shortly. Up onto the high ground, Fraggy keeps himself alive. for an opportunity to drop back down. Rejoins in with a fight. Shadowburn falls low, but they can't kill him off. And now it's going to be Tonic with his own Primal Rage going up into their faces. In the back now, Shadowburn has the blade ready to go, and Shaz just gets taken down. Tonic joins in. They managed to finish him off. They trade out for the Genji, but now no Zenyatta in the mix, and Finland still have not been able to flip this point. It's 92% moving up. Russia gonna go ahead and close out on Oasis. Mistakes will die. They have corner here onto the D.Va, trying to knock him out of the mech. Tonic goes low. Finland desperately trying to get this flip. Poop back comes in from Big Goose, just building up closer and closer to that sound barrier. 15 some odd % left to go. They'll have it online. They might just need it, but if Fraggy is going to die, and they don't have a res to put him back into the mix.
Finland is just got so much sustainability with its triple support. It's also Moira, so when Shadowburn's dead, when they don't have the burst from the Pulse you mentioned earlier and the Dragon Blade, they will win the longer fight. That means Russia has 99% when they do win it, but now it's very difficult to break through for Russia. They don't have a Dragon Blade. Mistakes already used his Pulse Bomb, so how do you kill through Moira doing so much sustained left click healing, Big Goose's AoE heal, and the burst coming through from Taimo. Oh, close call on that one.
He tries to go for the Hail Mary, but probably should have just held it to try to bust out the mech or the Winston here. Transcendent's going to be popped by Mate as Russia pushes in onto the point. And Taimo will fall. Fraggy goes down before he can use the Primal Range, and again, there is no Mercy player here on the side of Finland. They are not running that in this comp, so there's no way to put the Winston back in the fight. They have to wait for him to rejoin. Napis now, Self-Destruct going to be online. Linkser goes back with a recall to try to keep himself alive, and in the fight, Destruct comes in. Zappis not finding a pick. Shaz falling low. Zappis makes it back. Shadowburn nearly has the barrage. Up close and personal here with Linkser. Mistakes. Finds the hit. Pop Zappis out. They take him down as Russia tries to get this flip coming through. They're about to have it. Finland tags in to delay this. It's for 99.99, but they go up onto the high ground. They don't come back down in time. Now OT taken away on both sides. This is any person's game here. Finland have to stay in the mix, but Fraggy is dangerously low, even with that Primal Range is going to expire. Now Taimo coming back into the fight as quickly as he can. Big Goose under duress, trying to kite his way out of there. He's got so many members of Russia just sticking to him like glue, so they will be able to take him down. Shaz is still low, can't really heal himself up, and Zamora has to be reliant on the orb. Linkser trades one back, finds Shadowburn. Pulse Bomb now out from Mistakes, tosses that one down. It's going to be Zappis out of the mech. Fraggy is dead, and this should just about be the win here. Russia grinding away at Finland, ought to be able to come out on top. Taimo desperately tries to pop the rally, but to no avail. Russia will take the first map here in the series.
And this is already, I think, such a big turn away from what we expected to see in this series is, can Russia challenge Fraggy? Can they win the tank war? But instead of that, we saw the DPS players really be the big players on the side of Russia. Shadowburn and Mistakes on the Genji, the Pharah, in Shadowburn's case, and of course for Mistakes on the McCree, especially there on University. They were able to circumvent the slower, more sustained style that Finland has been running all week long. And when you can get those kills with the DPSs at range on University, and then when you can get the burst to break through the healing of the triple support composition we were just seeing from Finland, then you set up at a positional advantage, you trade up on ultimates, and it becomes so difficult for Fraggy, who's especially there on City Center playing Winston, not the classic Reinhardt that he's most known for in in recent times. I'm not to say that he's a bad Winston player by any means. He's playing not to the style they've been playing and having success with all tournament. And how Russia was able to plan and force that situation where they pushed Finland away from their comfort zone was really fun to watch.
Yeah, and I kind of have to wonder how things might have transpired a little bit differently, if it would have been different at all. Had he not jumped up onto the high ground and was still contesting that flip coming through from Russia, because then the pressure's on, it shifts back over into Russia's hands. It's 99 to 99%. Now you're trying to scrape it back rather than defend. Could have been a different story. Maybe we would have been going to Garden to try to finish off Oasis here, but instead it's going to be Russia picking up that first map win. So map selection here for Finland as we get ready to go into Hybrid. They've been running this very tank-heavy style.
Yeah.
So it seems like we might just have some more King's Row.
It feels that way. I mean, that's where you definitely want to go if you want to play towards the strengths of the Reinhardt Zarya. And as we have map selection up here, it is going to be King's Row. I mean, when you think about Reinhardt Zarya and the meta throughout years of Overwatch now, I mean, basically 2 years now in. We had the 2016, 2017 World Cup, now we're in 2018.
Yeah.
To mention all of the Overwatch League, Apex history. When you think about Reinhardt Zarya, historically speaking, in Hybrid, you always think about King's Row. Every other map is much more wide open in this map type, so it's much more difficult to get Earth Shatters off, use Zarya, grab surges to set up these combos and fights. So if you're a team like Finland has been operating around these two tanks in particular, As you can see, Frag and Zappies already have it locked in here on the attack in spawning room. When you're playing that way and you're struggling when you're forced by, in this case, Russia, to play something else, or as we saw from South Korea yesterday, you're forced to do something else, you're not finding as much success. Why not just pick the map that you feel comfortable with? And that's where we go to King's Row. We saw the Rialto pick yesterday for very similar reasons against South Korea.
Well, Finland will be kicking things off here, choosing to actually go. Yeah, we'll be on the defense first here.
Yeah.
So attack first from Russia.
That's right. So setting up here right now with this Reinhardt Zarya, but with the double sniper setup, not going to be any sort of, Roadhog setup that we have seen from Taimu, particularly in situations like this. Taimu found great success on this map yesterday through the defending part of B and C on the streets phase because he was protected so well and was able to get so many good headshots off, which caused a lot of problems for South Korea, Carpe in particular. Russia will match him with double sniper for the moment. Let's see how long they want to run that. This getting a line of sight is going to be tough.
He on the Hanzo. We'll see how they're going to fare with this one. Just going to be matching them across the board. Right up onto the top. But the Alderworth gets the spot out with the Sonic Arrow. So he's going to be dashing back, keeping himself safe. Tonic's been tagged up quite a bit here as they play forward. He's just going to get taken down. Drops the shield for a second. Linkser has the hit. So now no Reinhardt, no forward push. Russia getting picked off.
And this is a big problem when you're running mirror compositions like this, is when the defender who already has a positional advantage then has the ult advantage on top of that. If you compare the damage done by Linkser versus Shadowburn, he's going to have the first Dragon Strike, which could be stacked up with the ultimates that Finland is building, with a slight advantage there, not as much so, because they weren't the ones doing the damage in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, it's actually pretty similar. Linkser is searching forward, but it's the supports, really, that's a big story here for Finland. If Russia can eliminate them, either Shaz or Big Goose, that could be a really nice way to go ahead and break open this point. Storm Arrow's coming out, Linkser falling low.
This is
trying to get the shots in there onto Tonic as he had fallen quite low, but can't finish him off. Now bouncing around. Looking for the hit on a Shadowburn, but not going to find the execution. Dragon Strike going to be set from both of these Hanzos. Now we have the Transcendence online from Shaz as both Mercies go up to the Valkyrie. Storm Arrow's out, Shadowburn finds the hit. Taking him down, breaking things open. Start pushing forward. Transcendence already coming out from Shaz. Shadowburn just holding onto the Dragon Strike. Now he can use it. They don't have that ultimate. Graviton Surge comes down. Shadowburn tosses that up. It's going to be Frag and Zappas both going down. Rez in, bringing the Zarya back into the mix. Russia going to be operating as a six-man unit. Finland suffering heavy losses, and just like that, the point will go their way.
It's just so unfortunate for Finland. They lose this point. Look at the ultimates they're holding. Linkser had Dragon Strike in the bag. He was going to have it first, but he died trying to challenge Shadowburn in a duel that most, I think, would argue was unnecessary. He took a risk, it did not pay off. Everyone collapsed after that. Shao gets the faster surge. And sure, they can use these ults they now hold to try to defend with this archway, which is a very strong defensive position. But I think they would have liked to take a fight on the point, but it was just no longer possible after that pick onto Linkser.
Yeah, trying to drain it down. Now it's 4:13 on the clock for this push. Russia also have ultimates as well. They're going to go ahead and throw up the Infra Sight. Graviton Surge coming down. Zappas tosses that one in. It's going to be the Dragon Strike answering. Main channeling with that Transcendence, trying to keep them alive, but it's not going to be enough. 3 members will go down, and Finland can gain control over the cart. Shadowburn just going to get caught out here.
And
so
now
we'll see how far forward they want to play. They play very far forward versus South Korea on Rialto. Will we see that here on King's Row?
I don't think so. I think they're just going to try to play around this archway further. The cart has rolled back significantly, and Fraggy can just stand in this archway now and prepare for a big Earth Shatter. The onus really is going to be on to Tonic to prevent that, because no one else really can shut that down in this moment. Mistakes, of course, on the Brigida now, making that swap. He could certainly make an effort to prevent it, but it's going to be mostly on the shoulders of Tonic here. If Fraggy gets the big Shatter, they get another defense.
Fire Strike coming down, bubbles up from the Zaryas, barriers in, tries to answer back, but not going to get anything. Fraggy still charges in, manages to take down the enemy Zarya. Fire Strike comes out, getting a smattering of damage in. Finland will be able to hold this one, it would seem. So, rough start from both of those Earth Shatters, but Finland are the ones who are able to pick up the pieces.
Something I really love about how Fraggy uses the charge for Reinhardt is that he almost plays, hold that thought, we're going to have another duel here.
I'm just going to let this one speak for itself.
Okay. Shadowburn does get taken out this time, so
Shot
Linkser gets revenge. But Fraggy's charges, he almost uses game theory. He always knows that if he misses his primary target, he can scoot over to at least do a little bit of damage. In this case, he got Shao. Just an incredible Reinhardt player. It's so enjoyable to watch. But that stagger there onto Shadowburn is painful. Linkster has high ground control right now. And Fraggy, you know, is just still operating around this high ground. Mistakes can try to stun him to get around the corner, but this is exactly ideal for Finland. It's just slight ult advantage, archway defensive setup. You've got this Dragon Strike, and Linkster going to toss it out as soon as he's got a great opportunity. Tough to split when you're in an archway.
Storm coming down, Taimu, gonna find Shout. Gets rid of him, and now no grab gonna be available from Russia as Taimu also gets rid of the Mercy, no res. Nothing. Finland maintaining control. This has been a wonderful hold so far already. Over 2 minutes drained off of the time bank.
Yeah.
Russia really started struggling to get things moving.
Now they've got the ultimates too. They re-got the Earth Shatter. They have another one of these big grab surges. The only way you can really challenge Taimu in the backline and Linkster is to go up onto the high ground yourself, where Shadowburn has been trying to go. But because Finland know that, they're just waiting for him. They're kind of camping for him. And now Linkster's got a really nice flank.
Shot there on the main, taking him low. Dragon Strike getting ready to come out. Grab over onto the side. Gonna be finding the hits. Linkster manages to take down Shadowburn in the end, but it's gonna be 4 kills going over to the way of Russia as they finally get this cart rolling. Finland will still have an opportunity to fight this one out, to stop them before they can make it to B.
Really nice punish there of Linkster's positioning by Russia. Again, they're gonna go ahead and toss this rally out to gain some armor. Mistakes can build that very quickly. Because Linkster was looking for the pick onto main so that the grab would not have a counter, they just collapsed in while he was out of position. Really nice, swift movement here for Russia. But now they've got a nice free push. Finland's got the ultimates, but they need to get to this point and set up to use them.
Well, grab coming down. It's going to lock up 2. Dragon Strike rolling through. It's going to pop that Transcendence, but still going to be Zhao going down, and Big Goose gets traded out. Now Tonic finds Fraggy, not giving him an opportunity to use that Earth Shatter. Cart's still pushing forward. No one really here to try to contest this one. It's just going to roll very gently into the station. Now it's going to be another 2:20 on the clock here for Russia to try to get the finish on King's Row.
A really nice fight here, taken defensively against what was somewhat of a sloppy engage from Finland as they rushed back towards the point. Didn't have a Lucio to set up that engage. They're just not running that composition. Shaz has been primarily on the Zenyatta here, so you just don't have that extra movement to get onto the point and look for a clean engage. They had to take a rough one. They lost their ults. It's pretty rough now on the side of Finland.
Pushing forward, almost take down main, but they can't quite find him. Shadowburn, however, will win out that Hanzo duel, and now Fraggy is going to get punished. Again, does not finding a chance to use this Earth Shatter. Good punish game here for Russia as they keep charging forward. 1.5 minutes on the finish would still look pretty darn good for them considering how that defense was looking for Finland.
He's got total high ground control right now. He's got full line of sight. There's no way Finland could approach without taking damage.
Things get snagged up. He's looking for the shot there on the Big Goose. Sorry, a bubble denies a lot of that damage away. Fraggy again pushing forward, drops down the hammer, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be too much follow-up. Fraggy will get res back in. Mistakes, finds Big Goose as he gets the res. Dragon Strike rolling in from the side, but otherwise not going to be that impactful. Finland is able to posture up onto the cart here with the Reinhardt, but the Graviton Surge is going to be tossed in. Fraggy going to be isolated, will be eliminated. Cart halted as Shaz tries to charge in, but he doesn't have a Transcendence. He doesn't have anything, and Big Goose is just going to get a hammer to the face. He goes down. And this should about be the finish here for the side of Russia. Zappas can't get there in time. They get the completion, not with as much time in the bank as they would have liked, but they still pushed it all the way to C.
And it's been a really clean series from Russia thus far. I feel like even when they're in the face of adversity in terms of positioning, they're able to make really clean calls when we see small changes. Again, going back to Linkster's flank, Linkster makes an intelligent flank to try to get the kill there onto main, the Zenyatta player for Russia, so they can set up for that grab engage in the choke point. Because when you have that ult advantage, you want to use it to its best ability, right? You want to have those combos, and you want to make sure there's no Transcendence to just counter it on the other side. So they got a little bit greedy, sending Linkster over to the side, having him try to flank and kill that Zenyatta. It was greed that ended up killing him twice. The first time cost them point A when he was trying to 1v1 against Mistakes. The second time there, of course, it was an intelligent decision. But while in his absence, Russia collapsed. And so it's really cool to see Russia making these snap decisions when Finland is taking risks. Very punish-based style that we saw through A. When we headed towards C, for example, that's when Russia just started to snowball things out of control.
I think the thing that I want to see a little bit more from Finland coming in on this attack is a slight bit more of restraint. They have been using these ultimates, maybe not at the most ideal time. That one of the last Graviton Surges that we saw thrown out there from Zappas as they try to retake B didn't really have that big impact that they wanted. They managed to catch 2. The Dragon Strike comes through, but they still can't really get the kills to follow up, and the rest of Russia just swoops in from the flank and takes them down. So I think that they need to play a little bit more measured here as they get ready to go on this approach. Make sure that they're really kind of running the numbers in their head as far as how these fights are going to go when they invest their ultimates. So we'll see if they're going to have that, or if it's still going to be a little trigger happy from them. As we go ahead and kick things off yet again. This time Finland on the attack on King's Row. 56 seconds, the time to beat for them.
They have to deal with the Junkrat Orisa setup here, and they are going to run again towards their strengths. They're running the Goats composition here, breaking it through to where Tonic is going to require really well-timed speed boost here from Big Goose. They're going to want to charge around the left side. Here comes barriers up, and if they can get up on top of that point, they can dismantle this composition. Zap is going to try to gain some additional information up here as they do get around the left side. Now they're going to head up here. If they can force Orisa off the high ground, then everything can collapse in just a second for Russia.
Already, they know exactly what the play is going to be. They cut their way out. Now they're wrapped around the backhand side, and they are isolated. Main going to get taken down. That's Mistakes as well falling. Finland, nice little rotation coming through. Now they can push their way onto the point, and again, it's come down here, Orisa. We want you on the low ground. Will Tonic rise to the challenge? So far, one tick coming through, getting closer to two. It's going to be Zhao moving down, but the back just gets shredded out. Pocket coming through, trying to keep that Baby Diva alive, but it's not going to be enough, and now it's going to be the Mercy joining the Baby Diva in the grave. They get Tonic, and this is just going to be the point going the way of Finland. Fantastic push coming through. Russia says, okay, we know exactly where they're going, but Zenyatta and the Widowmaker, they completely cut off from the rest of the squad. They get punished, and this opens things up very nicely. And there's 5:10 in the clock.
There's just no way you can recover from that moment once you get circumvented like that, and especially when you're not running a Roadhog, which we've seen a lot in Korea and Korea contenders, particularly in this meta. If you don't have that Roadhog, you don't really have any sort of way to peel or disrupt that movement around. So just really clean execution here from Finland, and Russia, of course, will suffer. The Riptire's almost ready, but that's one of the key parts of the defense is having that before the A take even happens, so you can buy time. You can at least buy some time on the streets phase with it here as it comes out.
Here from Shadowburn. If he can land anything, pushes it up into the high ground, tries to wrap around the sides. Taking 20 damage so far. They're trying to focus this one down, but it still will have the pop there on a Linkser, eliminating the Zarya. Finland is playing back, so this isn't going to be the most costly thing.
Yeah, I mean, just taking the slow approach here. It will start to become costly, however, if they are unable to, regain control of this cart and they start losing too much time because of the time bank that Russia has built. You see them moving forward now. They're going to look for an engage. They do not have grabs, so it's going to be about the Shatter
pushing
boost.
Forward. Shatter going to be ready to go, holding this one Tonic. Barrier back up. Fraggy shoving him back, allowing the cart to start moving up around the corner. Then they can really take the fight. Fraggy falls low. They will keep him topped up. The rally set here from Taimo. He's going to pop it as the Dragon Strike rolls through. Keep themselves safe. But Big Goose still going to go down. Shadowburn able to find that hit. Zap is charging forward, gets popped out of the mech. Fraggy also falling low. Use that Shatter, gets the pin there, takes down Zhao. Finland still going to be halted as Russia gains control of the cart.
It's just really unfortunate they had to use so many resources in order to do so, especially right before this grab came online. They're going to look for the fight for it now. It's a good angle.
Forward. Yeah, grab is ready to go, but he holds it. That's the restraint. Doesn't see the opportunity, and they don't need it. So this is perfect here for Finland. Now they have that big ultimate that they can use. Maintain control, try to go for something like a bigger bang because Zappos is holding on to that self-destruct.
Russia had to play so well around the potential grab, and then they all lined up for Shaz to do massive damage with the Coalescence. The angle there for the Coalescence, we don't normally talk about the Coalescence being a huge damage dealer in fights, but it actually did so much for them there and allowed them to get in position with Big Goose's speed boost. Now they hold the grab, as you say, with that restraint from Leakser. One of the most important things for a Zarya player. He's going to drop it now.
Yeah, grab, tossing that one straight in front of point B. They lock up the tanks again. The bubble's coming down, pinned into the side, trying to eliminate Tonic. Not going to find it yet. Fraggy just going to be dropping the hammer, throws in that Earth Shatter, but Tonic is still going to be alive. They're swinging back and forth. Who come out on top? Still going, but finally it will be Tonic falling, but Finland still suffer losses. Now Fraggy going down, 4 members dead all in all. Linkser getting ready to join him here at the end. The Storm Arrows from Mistakes takes them out. But Finland,
yeah, but the grab here at Killers, the grab gets them off the point to get the capture.
Yes.
So that's the big win. They get the new spawn room unlocked. They have the approach here now. So even though a lot of ultimates were used and they didn't win the fight per se, they got the objective. And that's all that matters at the end of the day for this time bank.
Yeah, for the follow-up fight, eyes a little bit bigger than their stomach, but it was still a good play all in all. Shadowburn running out another Riptire, pushing this one forward. We'll find Taimu, pops him down. He's playing quite far forward, so
I can really respect.
expected.
Yeah, I could really respect how quickly Shadowburn's building these. Why he's using them so liberally, because it doesn't It's one of those ults that you just know you're going to have in just a second, as long as you're doing consistent damage, which Shadowburn has been. In fact, he's just going to swap over to the Widow. Another reason to just toss that ultimate out, buy some time. You're trying to burn 2 more minutes off the clock, and that's one way to take a few seconds away.
So dangerously close here, Fraggy. One more swing, that's going to be the Earthshatter coming down on top of that Dragon Strike. Tonic gets Fraggy from the side, taking him down with a pin. Tank line going to be disrupted. Taimu, Linkser, everybody pretty much that they can find going to get punished. Finland now have to push back through into the foundry to try to get on top of this cart and get it rolling. They have a very healthy time bank compared to what Russia finished with, but they still have to go the distance. They have to get the completion, and they would love to do so while besting the time that Russia established. 56 seconds, not going to be a whole lot.
The Shao grab surge is going to be a huge factor coming up here as we see Shadowburn just getting an angle, but this is going to be what they want to use on this corner here, very likely to set up the fight. Fraggy's already very low, so this could be the moment.
And Shaz is going to be dead. Shatter coming out. Fraggy doesn't seem like he's going to find anything. Tosses that one straight into the barrier. Tonic had it ready to go. Pin comes down, but Main is there. Has the Transcendence. It's just keeping everybody topped up. And Shao can just hold on to this Graviton Surge the entire time as they burn down the remaining members of Finland that are still inside the foundry. They get links. Their time who answers one back, but otherwise, not a whole lot going on for Finland on this attack into point C.
Shao had an opportunity to use the grab, but it's that patience we were already talking about just earlier.
Yep.
He had high energy, he had high damage output there, so whenever it was caught in one spot, he was able to just burn them down. Saves that tool to buy this time. If they could continue to trade up like this, they may even prevent capture altogether. They may just end this map and take a 2-0 lead in the series.
At least the key difference here for Finland is that they are holding on to the Transcendence, so as I say that, they're going to go ahead and toss this one out before the grab comes through. Links are going to be dead. Might have just fallen off the side here. It's taken down, and that's going to be Zhao pushing forward. It nearly had 100 energy. Will get taken out. Tapis answers back, getting rid of the enemy's Aria. Now they're holding on to their own grab Dragon Strike combo, but in this fight, Main has built up for his Transcendence. Taimu taken down, his mistakes goes onto the high ground. He's looking for Shaz. One more arrow, might just do it. Passive.
It's so huge when he kills Taimu, no one can kill him up there, so he knows he's got free reign, he's just doing massive damage, he's killing the supports in the backline. Finland had a huge opportunity, and it's all shattered here by mistakes. Here's the grab combo.
Tosses that one in, Dragon Strikes rolling through from both teams. Taimu gonna be one of the only ones who dies, actually. Zappas and Lynx have both managed to stay alive. No one from Russia gonna be falling.
But they win the time bank
Fraggy, and he needs this one to be fat if they're going to get this push in. They're already now down below the time bank of Russia, so not going to be able to best them, but they need to get the finish.
Fraggy's just trying to look for an angle here. It may just have to be a charge in order to make that happen. Tonic's sitting on one as well. He's trying to find the angle. Running forward here.
Shadowburn gets taken down. Taimu opens things up, getting rid of that Widow pressure, and maybe drawing the Mercy away. They do. Okay, so the res is going to come through here from Russia. Shatter comes down. Tonic throws his in, gets the pin, and that's going to be Fraggy eliminated. And now they can go ahead and push forward. Big Goose goes very far forward, gets that res off, does not get punished, and they manage to find the shot there on a Tonic. Now Taimu gets another one. Mistake's going to go down. It's going to be the Mercy taken out of the skies as they try to push this one in. 13 seconds remaining. Finland, will they be able to finish with time in the bank? The answer is going to be yes, 9.9 seconds. They make it through to point C.
Zappy's having a really nice engage there at the end, and the sneak in through there to get the res off of Fraggy. They're able to basically thread the needle to make that happen. Without that, this point does not finish. Fraggy doesn't come back to life and will not be able to make that big fight happen. We're going to take a look at this replay here of Taimu, who gets on the high ground uncontested. And that's one of the things, he kills mistakes here. That's one of the matchups there with sniper versus sniper on point C. If you control the high ground, you can really start to light up the tanks. And you know, you think about snipers in this meta where you have these massive, tank balls moving towards each other. Sometimes the snipers look low impact from the outsider's perspective because their shield's up. It's tough to get in there, find line of sight. However, if you're up on the high ground and you've killed the enemy snipers, so you have nothing to worry about, you don't even have to be watching for, checking for sight lines, then you can just start to do additional damage, and that's when, Taimu starts to get half a tank killed. Fraggy gets the other half, right? He swings forward, and they start to snowball that fight in that way. So those big picks in the sniper war, whether it's Widow versus Hanzo, Hanzo versus Widow, those are the big picks, I think, on C, where you can make a lot of impactful plays.
Well, bumped up to a minute here is Team Finland. Russia going to be moving up to 1:46 for their attack. Finland start things off. Let's see just how far they can go. The initial attack from them was absolutely wonderful. So possibly, going to be looking to kite around into the Alderworth. They spot out the trap. They go ahead, burst that one down. Shadowburn up above them here. Getting a lot of damage. He drops down. Gonna get a lot of damage in. Thought maybe he would get punished there, but it's not gonna happen. I highly doubt that Main is gonna get caught off guard this time.
He's playing greedier because he wants the Riptire this time that he was unable to get last time.
He's almost got it.
Yeah, and
14%.
I really like this change up in his play because he will, I think, have it no matter what here unless he gets picked in the next second.
Now he's trying to ask them. He's welcoming them onto the low ground. He's, yes, please, just trade places with me. I'll pop back up as you come down. I'll get a ton of damage in. Now he's going to have a Riptire. Draws that one out. Can they focus it down? No, but he's going to get the pop here on his average. Takes him out of the mech, and Taimu's going to get taken down at the same time. Follow up from Shadowburn. Gets rid of the Baby Diva. Now Fraggy going to fall. It's 3 seconds remaining. Finland have to be in onto the point as it goes into overtime, but Big Goose gets taken down by the concussive mine. And that should just about be it. No percentage at all on the point. Finland now have to get a full hold to try to bring us to a draw with 1 minute and 46 on the clock for Russia.
When you're so good at one style and it's very strong on the map and you were already able to get a capture earlier on the same map with that same type of push, when you have a short time bank like less than a minute, your opponents are looking at this saying, well, you know, this is pretty predictable what they're probably going to do, right? And Russia, I think, is turning the strengths of Finland into weaknesses, and how they rotated around the same push, put Shadowburn in position to build that Riptire. You put it so well. They went up to him, and then he just traded spots with them repeatedly. Junkrat's not a hero that I think people who, you know, just play quick match or play the ladder, you know, at a somewhat casual level think of as a high mobility hero, but in fact, actually at the highest level, Junkrat can go high ground to low ground very quickly, build that Riptire, and that's exactly what we saw from Shadowburn there, which blew up the Diva mech and then allowed Russia to have the defense. Now they've got so much time to get just one tick. Finland is going to have to trade up really well here on the defense. Running double sniper again. Taimu had great moments there, especially on the Widow there in the end of point C to help them get completion. If he can get a kill here on the back line or win the sniper battle with line of sight advantage, could eat through some of that time bank.
Needs to be Mr. Good Aim. The fire strike's going to be exchanged from either side. Chow gets tagged up quite a bit. Otherwise, we'll be okay. Shots coming down in exchange. Shot for shot.
Yeah. Okay, good positional advantage here, though, for Russia now as they sneak around the point.
Snake's looking for an angle. Coming up from behind the statue here. Barrier's still going to be up for Fraggy. Now trying to weave those shots through as Shadowburn wraps around through the Alderworth Hotel. Storm Arrow's out, looking for an angle. Linkser, can he win the duel this time?
Yeah, he was
His
greedy last
death in
time.
the hotel is what unraveled the point A defense for the side of Finland. He's playing very far forward again. Shadowburn looking for it, but Linkser gets it this time around. Fraggy, however, tagged it from the side, but flips back over. Now Main's going to be eliminated. Fantastic start here for Finland with 55 more seconds on the clock.
There's only so much mistakes can do in this moment after, you know, his cohort in crime, Shadowburn, is dead, and Main is down as well. So 45 seconds, as you say.
And look at the ult charge on the Hanzos.
Yeah, very, very much massive advantage for Link, so that could buy so much time here. With realistically only one big push left for Russia. So they're slow pushing around here, looking to build up that Shatter with the Fire Strike. Doesn't get it, 94%. He's so
Nearly
close.
Has it. Dragon Strike coming down, but Linkser's going to be the one that falls. Chow finds the kill, and now it's going to be Fraggy dead as well. Linkser going to be res back into the mix. They find two. Shatter coming through. Now it's going to be the Transcendence out. And coming down, not going to be able to get that kill. Tonic just going to be pinning himself into the corner, trying to stay alive. Fire Strike coming down wildly, just tossing that one out. He falls low and gets taken down. Linkser finds the hit. Russia not able to make their way onto the point, not going to be getting any percentage yet, and the Reinhardt is still out of the fight. Just have that Zarya, and as I say it, he's going to die. Main a bit too late with that Transcendence, can't put him into the fight. Trying to offer up a res, but Linkser punishes the enemy Mercy. No healers alive. Tonic swaps over onto that Hammond to try to get back into the mix, but the adaptive shield just isn't going to be enough, and Finland will be able to hold them off.
Linkser gets redemption. This time, he gets the kills in the Alderworth Hotel there on the right side. As defender, usually the Hanzo will stick back, wait for a better opportunity to do damage, but Linkser's playstyle is a little bit different. He wants to go for the surprise attack there, pop out the Storm Arrows, win that Hanzo duel, because both Hanzos, of course, will fight over this position quite a bit. And that risk cost them big, as we were talking about on the first defense of point A. But moving into that overtime round where he was the defender, he took the risk again, came up big, built that early Dragon Strike, which bought them so much time, and then he was able to just get consistent kills right after that. And I think we do have to talk about Shadowburn's Junkrat once again, because without his fantastic play there to stop what Finland was doing, this might have been a different situation entirely. We might not have actually been looking at a draw, in fact. So those are the two key players.
Yeah, one tick, all that they needed. Any percent that they could get onto the board would have allowed them to get that victory, but instead they are able to hold them off. They keep Russia at bay, even with that superior timing that they had. It was, by 46 seconds, so nothing that significant in the grand scheme of things. But they hold them off, and they're going to bring us to a draw, so not going to be falling down 2-0. But we're halfway through the series technically here.
Still a 1-0.
Yeah, it's still a 1-0. Russia is still going to be in the lead here. But Finland, they're gaining some momentum back. They claw back some ground. But can they take a lead? Can they get the win in the end is going to be the question. I believe we have probably an interview ready with one of the players as we get ready to go into halftime. So let's go ahead and hear from Linkser on the floor.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Linkser of Team Finland now. Linkser, you guys had a really tough matchup against South Korea yesterday. Coming into today, did you feel like you guys emotionally recovered, got some rest, and were ready to play today?
I would say so. I think we all just got a bit surprised by Russia. I think we didn't lose to Russia because of they were like exceptional, like South Korea was, but more like we weren't like really geared up, Like we are slowly warming up to beat the series, basically.
I was actually going to ask that next, because it's 1-0, and it's been a tightly contested match. What do you think have been some of the keys to them keeping the match so close with you guys?
I think we were a bit surprised by Shadowburn's Pharah. Like it was obviously kind of like a design maker in the Oasis. He always whips it out and does really well. But apart from that, I think our combos were not as good as they were even on day one. And I think if you just make them happen better and take fights a bit more precisely, so we don't give them so much advantage over nothing.
Right. All right, now, one more thing off of the game. How have you been enjoying it here in South Korea, man? If this, to my understanding, this is your first time as well, right?
I've been loving South Korea. I think the food is good, but I want to visit Seoul and Busan before I leave. I think there's more to see.
Definitely explore as much as you can. Well, Linkser, thank you very much, and best of luck on the rest of this match. And with that, guys, it is Finland and Russia, 1-0. Russia is up. Stay tuned because we're going to have a lot more Overwatch World Cup coming to you right after the break.